Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrivals of Honorable Datuk Seri Utama Haji Sulaiman bin Mat Ali, Chief Minister of Melaka, accompanied by all distinguished guests. Minister of Melaka, accompanied by all distinguished guests.
His Excellency Charles Hay, High Commissioner of UK of Great Britain and Northern Ireland to Malaysia. His Excellency Diego Velasco von Pilgrim, Ambassador of Chile to Malaysia. Mr. Loy Hu Chien, Deputy High Commissioner of the Republic of Singapore to Malaysia. Mrs. Eva Oskan, Deputy Head of Mission, Kingdom of the Netherlands. Honorable Executive Councillors of the State of Melaka, Honorable Senators, Honorable Members of Parliament, Mr. Muhammad Yusuf bin Abu Bakar, the Chief Executive Officer of Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone, M-Wez, media partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the official launching of Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone, M-Wez. Alhamdulillah, on behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to take this opportunity to extend our warmest welcome and highest appreciation to Honorable Datuk Seri Utama Haji Sulaiman bin Mat Ali, Chief Minister of Melaka, and all our distinguished guests for being with us at the ceremony and to witness the official launching of M-Wez today. Thank you very much, and we are truly honored to have you, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri.
Ladies and gentlemen, so as to pray for blessings for this morning's gathering, we would like to call upon Ustaz Haji Jasmi to lead in the prayer recitation.
A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma ya Allah, pada pagi yang mulia lagi penuh keberkatan ini, bersempena majlis pelancaran Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone M-Wez oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Utama Ketua Menteri Melaka, kami menadah tangan memuji dan kami sifat sabar tabah dalam menghadapi ujian dan dugaan. Hindarkanlah kami daripada sikap negatif yang boleh menyejaskan perpaduan, keselamatan, kestabilan dan keharmonian kami di sini, serta peliharakanlah kestabilan politik, ekonomi, sosial negeri ini, dan letakkanlah kami semua di bawah peliharaanmu yang sebaik-baiknya. Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Taqabbalallah.
Amin, 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 ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Ustaz Haji Jasmi, for the dua recitation.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this launching ceremony is to witness the birth of Malaysia's newest economic corridor, which will be the centerpiece of Melaka's transformation. On top of that, we will also have a signing ceremony for MOU to establish a mutual understanding between the state government and investors in developing the M-Wez area in tandem with the state government's intention in looking at M-Wez from the aspect of utility infrastructure development at international level and as one of the precious gems to the states of Melaka.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us warmly invite Honorable Datuk Sri Utama Haji Sulaiman bin Mat Ali, Chief Minister of Melaka, to take the stage to deliver his speech and sooner officiating the launching of Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone, M-Wez.
Auzubillahi samini alim minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'in. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning. Salam Melaka Maju Jaya. Rakyat bahagia menggamit dunia. Honorable Datuk Seri Abdul Rahman bin Yusuf, Speaker of the Melaka Legislative Assembly, Honorable Datuk Seri Dr. Hashim bin Hassan, State Secretary of Melaka, Honorable Executive Councillor of the State of Melaka, Honorable Members of Parliament, Honorable Members of the Melaka State Assembly, Your Excellency, High Commissioners and Ambassadors, Tan Sri, Datuk, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Melaka State Government, I have the pleasure of welcoming you, all of you, partners and friends of the state, to this important milestone for the government and the people of Melaka, the official launch of the Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to witness history in the making, the birth of Malaysia's newest economic corridor, which will be the centerpiece of Melaka's transformation. No doubt, we are the new kid in town as far as the corridor business is concerned. However, our rich history as the maritime hub and the trading centers goes back a long, long way. The deep, shuttered harbor on the narrow channel which took our name, the Strait of Melaka, positioned us at the crossroads of some of the busiest sea lanes in the world, linking the East and the West. Historians have described Melaka maritime past as one of the important in the early modern global economy, a past that puts Melaka in the same league with Venice, Cairo, and Canton. Melaka's market-friendly rules quickly caught the attention of merchants all over, from China to India and the Arab world. Dozens of languages were spoken in the bustling port those days. Being a well-known trading hub and a natural port, it is soon become a prime target for nations looking to extend their influence. We first saw the Portuguese, then the Dutch, and later the British making their foothold in old Melaka. However, I'm not going to touch too much on the past. Rather, I want to focus on the future and discuss more about what's going on in the state. our future plans, and how the Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone will fit into the plan. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the world we live in today is a much different one from just a year ago. As we know, in March last year, the World Health Organization declared that COVID-19 was a global pandemic. 13 months on, one can be forgiven for forgetting what life without COVID-19 looks like. Health experts say COVID-19 is here to stay. As such, we must redesign our economies and livelihoods around it. Despite the pandemic, the global economy remains deeply interconnected. According to the noted writer and CNN host Farid Zakaria, in his new book, 10 Lessons for a Post-Pandemic World, it is impossible to reverse globalization and free movement of goods, people, and ideas. Americans may want more goods to be produced in US and reduce their reliance on China, but Farid argued that manufacturing will shift from China not to Texas, but to India, which is another low-cost manufacturing option. He said, the biggest shift in global economies in recent years has been the rise of the digital economy, which is by its very nature global. As we face a crisis like no other, it is heartening to note that the Malaysian government has been proactive in dealing with the crisis. We Malaysians are quickly adapting to new norms in our workplaces and in our lifestyle. As the saying goes, there is opportunity in a crisis. The pandemic has underscored the need for us in the government and those in the private sector to work closely to help the economy. In Melaka, the pandemic has prompted the government to return to the drawing board in order to chart our future. We also look at ways to improve our economic base. For the record, Malaka's economy, which was 43.6 billion ringgit in 2019, grew 2.8% compared to 3.9% in 2018. GDP per capita increased from 47,939 ringgit in 2018 to 49,172 ringgit in the year of 2019. The services sector was a major contributor to the state economy at 48%, followed by the manufacturing sector at 38.4%, agriculture and construction accounted for 10.2% and 3.1% respectively. Despite the pandemic and the economic slowdown, Melaka remained attractive for investors, including foreign investors. Last year, Melaka recorded 2 billion ringgit in investment in 41 approved manufacturing projects. This compared with 879 million ringgit in 35 projects in the year of 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, we expect investment to reach 5 billion ringgit. There has been a spate of new investment coming to Melaka. They include German semiconductor giant Infineon Technologies, which has pledged to invest 3.25 billion ringgit in Malaysia, and mostly in Melaka, over 10 years until 2029. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with almost 9,000 employees, Infineon is the largest employer in Melaka, contributing 2% of the total workforce in the state. Melaka has also been selected as the site by German-based company Leutze Electronic to set up its first optical sensor production plant in Southeast Asia. The company currently has a similar plants in Germany, China, and Brazil. It says the Melaka plant will help diversify risk in its supply chain. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, since I took office in March last year, the state government's main priorities have been to stabilize the economy, address the water supply crisis, and help the most vulnerable and impacted by this unprecedented economic crisis. The tourism sector, the mainstay of our economy, was badly affected, with the international and interstate lockdowns keeping the historic city, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, virtually empty. But we also saw this crisis as an opportunity to us to reboot our economy and prepare the state for a more sustainable future. We consulted many people to see how best to move forward. The Melaka Strategic Plan 2035, which we unveiled last month, is the result. It will be a clear roadmap for the next 15 years, spearheaded by the Melaka Economic Planning Unit, or UPEN. It set out the direction that our state, with nearly 1 million residents and few natural resources, should embark. Fully realized, the plan will help firmly put Melaka on a high growth, high income economic trajectory, with the slogan Melaka Ku Maju Jaya, Rakyat Bahagia, Menggamit Dunia, which translated loosely as a developed Melaka welcoming the world. Melaka aims to attain a sustainable state. Its mission will be driven by technology, entrepreneurship, industrial revolution, and international economy, and the well-being of its people, or trust for short. Ladies and gentlemen, policies that clearly benefit the people will continue to be the priority. These include programs which will help the economy, create jobs, business opportunities, develop entrepreneurship, provide quality health services, and better educational facilities. The state government will be closely monitoring the implementation of this plan, with departments and agencies being measured via strict KPIs. On this occasion, I would like to thank many experts, corporate leaders, and government officials, some who are here today, for their contribution in drafting of the plan. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, one of the integral parts of the strategic plan is the rolling out of what we call the Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone, or M-Wez. The economic zone is the main flagship of strategic plan. It is part of Melaka's key resort area number 1, which is industrial and economic revolution. We call this a big move in the state's development agenda, as high-quality investment will tap on a pool of skilled workers who are better paid. This will directly raise the income of the people. The corridor is aimed at creating a sustainable, a viable development and attracting domestic and foreign investments in IR 4.0 industries using smart and green technologies. It will sit on a huge 25,000 acres of coastal and reclaimed land and will have a total distance of 33 kilometers running from northern Melaka near Sungai Udang right to the south in Umbai. Why have we opted for the corridor? There are two main reasons. First, the Waterfront Economic Zone completes the jigsaw puzzle of economic corridor development across the country. Until now, Melaka is only state without a growth corridor. The then Prime Minister, Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi, who introduced this concept in the mid-2000s, had argued that economic corridors should be catalysts of growth in areas outside of the Klang Valley. He said this would enable more balanced development and discourage migration, since more people will have better jobs, education, and income in their respective towns. Second is an increasingly competitive world. Melaka needs to embark on new drivers to spur its economic development and create a new growth area, which is more inclusive and sustainable. The answer is this Melaka Waterfront, which will be a new engine of growth, a game changer, and a major economic enabler that will create new jobs, more business opportunities, and improve income. From our projection, we anticipate that the economic zone will attract more than 100 billion ringgit in high-impact, high-value investment from all over the world over a 15-year period. It is also expected to generate more than 20,000 new jobs every year. Priority will be given to the Malaysian workers. It will also contribute at least 5% to the state's annual GDP. This includes the contribution via direct income taxes to the federal government by companies operating in the zone. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, there is a Chinese saying, the beginning is the most difficult part. A few solid steps have been taken in pursuing the corridor initiative. This included the creation of the advisory council before setting up the M-Wez Development Council in November last year. We expect to be tabled the bill on the setting up of a Perbadanan M-Wez at the next State Assembly sitting. The Perbadanan will map out and recommend to the state government policies, direction, and strategies in the development of the corridor. We are also finalizing the blueprint, which will serve as the master plan of development of the zone. This is an important step to ensure the corridor is developed according to the master plan. Since the second half of last year, the Melaka state government has been engaging with top decision makers and thought leaders on this initiative. They include the Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Haji Muhammad Yassin, Finance Minister Datuk Seri Tengku Zafrul, Senior Minister of International Trade and Industry Datuk Seri Azim Ali, and Minister in the Prime Minister's Department Economy Datuk Seri Mustafa Muhammad. We are also anticipating this initiative to be endorsed by the National Physical Planning Meeting in Putrajaya. The meeting is to be chaired by Prime Minister next month. Allow me to give a brief snapshot of what this economic zone will entail. It will have 5 distinct clusters. They are the Melaka Harbour Front, first, the second one, Smart Logistic Nucleus, third one, Digital Satellite Township, and the fourth one, Central Eco Business Park and Trade, and the last one is Nucleus New Township. One unique aspect of is maritime oriented zone. Given the long coastline and its position, a natural deep water harbour front or deep water harbour. Thus, our main focus is to boost the maritime sector as a major economic contributor. We will encourage the development of container and ferry terminal, free trade zones, logistics hub, oil and gas terminal, ship repair yards, and ship-to-ship or STS transfer facilities. STS operations enable ships to transfer their cargo to other vessels without having to dock at the piers, in a move that will allow high shipping flexibility and cut costs for shippers. This zone will also have new areas dedicated to tourism product, duty-free zones, shopping mall, offices, hotels, residents, and the IR 4.0 industries, among others. We will soon be signing agreements with several investors and partners to develop the corridor. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, there are compelling reasons why Melaka will be attractive to investors looking to invest or expand their operation in the corridor. Besides, its strategic location almost midway between Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, the Melaka Waterfront will be able to tap the vast market in nearby Sumatra, which has 60 million people and a growing middle class. It's only 47 kilometers from Melaka to closest point in Sumatra. It is also located at the crossroads of Asia and right in the heart of international trade route and well positioned within the Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand growth triangle of IMT-GT with already high level of cross-border trade. Melaka should also be able to grow its important medical tourism sector by tapping the Indonesians who are seeking better medical treatments overseas. The Melaka government's pro-business policy will support the development of the economic zone. Accordingly, we will ensure Perbadanan M-Wez is run based on best practice, efficient performance, and with integrity and good governance. There will be a dedicated agencies providing end-to-end facilitation for investors at the district, state, and federal level. The state government will expedite approval processes for investors by doing away with unnecessary procedure and red tape. One of Melaka's strengths is its full and trained and educated workforce. We are host to 44 institutions of higher learning, producing a trained labor force for various industries. Melaka was the first city in Malaysia chosen for the launch of the country's Sustainable City Development Project in 2017. Since then, it has made great strides in transforming into a green city. This Melaka Waterfront will be supporting this. It will have a plan and sustainable development incorporating the concept of smart city, safe city, and livable city. I'm also confident that the federal government, led by Tan Sri Mohidin, is committed to ensuring the corridor become successful. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I would like to say that the challenges of moving up the economic ladder and ensuring Malaka's long-term strategic plan and the economic zone a success cannot be done by the government alone. While incentive, institution, and infrastructure are crucial, I believe that success will only be achieved if we can work together to tap the opportunities in the state. They include the private sectors, GLCs, government agencies, and of course, ordinary rakyat. To all, once again, to all, let me say this. In Melaka, we have a big dream, a solid vision, and a clear blueprint. Join us on this exciting and I am sure equally rewarding journey. Let's turn Melaka into a new growth center where people around the world come to live, work, visit, and do business. Let us do it together. I look forward to a constructive partnership with all of you as our stakeholders. On this note, and in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I hereby declare the Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone launch. Sekian. Wallahu a'lam. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you, Honorable Datuk Sri Utama, for the inspiring speech.
Honorable Datuk Sri Utama, please move to the center of the stage as we would like to invite other guests of honor to accompany the Honorable Datuk Sri Utama for the launching ceremony. Please welcome Honorable Datuk Sri A.B. Rauf Yusof, Speaker of the Melaka State Legislative Assembly. Honorable Datuk Sri Dr. Hasim bin Hassan, Secretary to the States Governments of Melaka, and Mr. Muhammad A. Yusof bin Abu Bakar, CEO of M-Wez. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached to the pinnacle of today's event, the launch of Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone, or M-Wez. Once again, we would like to invite our guests of honor to move to the launching area. Ladies and gentlemen, as a symbolic sign for officiating the launch, Honorable Datuk Sri Utama will perform a face recognition scanning, and on the count, 3, 2, 1. and gentlemen, with that, we have just launched the Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone, or M-Wez. Please, once again, give a big round of applause. And thank you very much, Honorable Datuk Seri Utama Haji Sulaiman bin Mat Ali, for officiating the launch of M-Wez with all our guests of honor on stage just now.
Before we proceed to the next agenda, we would like to invite Honorable Datuk Seri Utama and fellow guests of honor to kindly take your seats to witness the full video presentation of this launching event. Ladies and gentlemen, let's watch the corporate video of the M-Wez.
Once upon a time, around the 15th century, the name Melaka was engraved on the world map as a great empire in the archipelago. Its fame was driven by the progress of its port, which was located in the middle of the trade route between east and west, until Melaka emerged as one of the world's leading trade center 500 years ago. The story of the glory of Melaka is stored neatly in the folds of history. Today, Melaka is back in the world when another history will be created with the existence of the Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone, or M-Wez. M-Wez is administered by a state government-owned body called the Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone Development Council. The M-Wez area covers the coast of the Straits of Melaka, which extends from Sungai Udang to Umbai, with an area of 25,000 acres running the length of 33 kilometers. It is backed by 5 clusters of major development zones, namely Melaka Harbour Fronts, Smart Logistic Nucleus, Digital Satellite Township, Central Eco Business Park, and Trade Nucleus New Township. M-Wez has the potential to generate state revenue as a result of the growth of Melaka's state GDP through reclamation activities, government land development, maritime and telecommunications. In the context of the Melaka State Structure Plan, RSN 2035, M-Wez has been identified as the State Regional Center Development Zone, which is physically located on the Melaka coast and has a high property development value. RSN Melaka spatially focuses on coastal development, developed by the Development Focus Corridor from Bandar Melaka to Air Keroh, which is connected by the North-South Expressway Plus. To support the National Digital Networking Plan Jendela, the digitization of the state of Melaka through development initiatives based on IR 4.0 and smart cities will be carried out. Apart from the road infrastructure, the provision of small canals and the network down to Melaka City directly to the tourist destination of Pulau Upe makes this corridor a Venice of the East. M-Wez is seen as a game changer for the economic and social landscape of the state of Melaka. The rapid growth of the maritime sector, the 4.0 industry revolution, digital and international tourism will all be realized in the future. Indeed, history will be created and the name of Melaka will return to the fame on the world stage.
Is definitely M-Wez, a great introductory video of the M-Wez and promising international development ahead.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, that's wrap up the first segment of today's event, the official launching of Melaka Waterfront Economic Zone, M-Wez. Now we have come to our next agenda for today's event, which is the signing ceremony. For your information, this event will comprise of two parts of signing ceremonies. The first one will be the signing of Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, between the Melaka State Government and Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, and MOU between the Melaka State Government and Telekom Malaysia Berhad.
The MOU between the two parties will help to facilitate the use of experts in developing the growth of communication infrastructure, which will then be used to draft for M-Wez's future digital plan. Meanwhile, we will also have a memorandum of agreement signing ceremony between the Melaka State Government and Liptech Engineering Sdn Bhd. And with this agreement, it will generate significant economic revenue to the country, especially to the M-Wez economic corridor through the development of international port on a vast 1,200 acres of reclaimed land.
Without further ado, now we would like to invite the signatories from respective parties. Honorable Datuk Seri Dr. Hasim bin Hassan, State Secretary of Melaka, who will be representing the Melaka State Government. Next, Ms. Nora Fadilah binti Muhammad Ali, Chief Financial and Strategic Officer of the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission, MCMC. Next, Mr. Ahmad Taufik Anwar, the Chief Executive Officer of TM1, representing Telekom Malaysia Berhad. And the last one, the Honorable Datuk Muhammad Anis Hashim bin Abdul Aziz, Managing Director of Liptech Engineering Sdn Bhd. Please welcome on stage.
And now we would like to invite once again Honorable Datuk Seri Utama Haji Sulaiman bin Mat Ali, Chief Minister of Melaka, Honorable Datuk Seri Abdul Rauf Yusof, Speaker of the Melaka State Legislative Assembly, Mr. Muhammad Yusuf bin Abu Bakar, Chief Executive Officer of M-Wez, Honorable Datuk Muhammad Ali Hanafiah bin Muhammad Yunus, Chief Executive Officer of the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, Mr. Imri bin Mokhtar, Group Chief Executive Officer of Telekom Malaysia Berhad, and Honorable Tan Sri Lim Hock San, the Chief Executive Chairman of LBS Bina Group Berhad, to come out on the stage to witness the signing ceremony. Please welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, so we shall now proceed with the signing ceremony. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with that, the MOU and MOA between the four parties are officially sealed.
Ladies and gentlemen, to mark this momentous occasion, we would like to invite our signatories for a photo op. I would like to invite a guest on the stage to please stand up and hold up the agreement and face the audience. And we would like to invite our all VIPs to stand alongside our signatories for a full photo opportunity. Thank you. We may now invite our photographers to come forward for the photo op session. All witness, please come forward. Thank you and very much to our signatories and distinguished guest witnesses. You may now move to the center of the stage for another photo op. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for the monumental business initiative that will generate significant economic revenue to the country, especially to the states of Melaka.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our official event. We would like to express our gratitude to Honorable Datuk Seri Utama, Dr. Haji Sulaiman bin Ma'ali, Chief Minister of Melaka, and all distinguished guests for being here with us today. Honorable Datuk Seri Utama and guests are invited to visit the exhibition booth, and there will be another photo session at the booth later.
Thank you everyone for gracing our ceremony with your presence. We truly appreciate it. For all our media representative, press conference will be held in Dewan Tun Lanang 1. Buffet lunch will be served at Taman Masri Courtyard for everyone. It's been our pleasure to host this event, and we wish all of you a pleasant day. And I'm Muna.
And I'm Shafianan.
We end our duty as Master of Ceremony for today's event with Wabillahi Taufiq wal Hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.